Are you interested in discovering Spanish wines? Are you a little bit stuck on where to start, not sure what's good and what's out there? Well, this video is for you. Today we're going to talk about the Spanish grapes. This is a guide to help you understand the grapes that are used to produce wine in Spain. We're going to focus today on the grapes that are natively Spanish, the grapes that are most widely used in Spain to make really great wines, and to help you understand what kind of wines they make, what kind of flavors they have, if they're lighter bodied, if they're fuller bodied, and what you can expect when opening a bottle of wine using one of these grapes. These are the grapes that I recommend you check out. Number 1, Tempranillo. Tempranillo is the most widely used grape for red wine in Spain, and it makes beautiful red wines. If you think about regions like Rioja or Ribera del Duero, pretty much every single red wine made in those two regions, the grape that is primarily used in those wines is Tempranillo. If you're familiar with either one or both of these regions, you'll know that the wines are bold, medium to full bodied, very aromatic, very tasty, heavier wines. They have amazing flavors, amazing aromas. A large part of the wines made in those two regions are wines that have been aged in oak for a considerably long period of time. So the wines from those regions are oaky, smoky, have vanilla hints, tobacco hints, leathery hints. These are wines that have been aged. And Tempranillo is an amazing grape to use to age wines. It stands up very well to being aged in oak. And Tempranillo wines are often wines that can be aged for a very, very long time. So if you're into those kinds of wines, wines that have been aged, wines that lose a little bit of their fruit but gain a lot of tertiary aromas, I believe that Tempranillo and the wines from regions like Ribera del Duero or Rioja are probably the best value wines for those kinds of wines in the world. So if you're into those kinds of wines, wines that have been aged, wines that lose a little bit of their fruit but gain a lot of tertiary aromas, I believe that Tempranillo and the wines from regions like Ribera del Duero or Rioja are probably the best value wines for those kinds of wines in the world. Grape number 2, Garnacha. So this is a grape that you might know as Grenache. It's a grape that is used in many other countries in the world, but it is a grape that is natively Spanish, and its official name is Garnacha. I believe that the Garnacha wines made in Spain are superior to any other Grenache or Garnacha wines made anywhere else in the world. This grape is almost the opposite of Tempranillo. The majority of the wines made using this grape are lighter, fruitier, younger style wines. Lighter bodied, wines that you can drink maybe a little bit more chilled, good wines for the summer, very easy to drink wines. The one exception in Spain is Priorat. The grapes grown from vines there are so old that they have a much deeper flavor and they're much heavier wines. That is maybe the exception in Spain. All the other regions like Vinos de Madrid, Montsant, or Navarra make these lighter style wines that are very aromatic, very flavorful, but lighter bodied, not as heavy, and they're just overall great wines. Garnacha is really taking off in Spain at the moment. A lot of wineries that used to use Garnacha as a blending grape are now really trying to highlight this grape, even making single varietal wines using exclusively Garnacha. They know that people are looking to drink lighter style wines, more Atlantic style wines, at least that's what they're called in Spain. And so Garnacha is a grape that is really being highlighted more and more in Spain. It's really a grape worth checking out. Grape number 3 is Albarino. Albarino is a grape that is native to the region of Rías Baixas in Galicia, and it's used to make some of the highest quality white wines in Spain and in the world. The entry-level wines that are produced in Rías Baixas, which is the region that almost exclusively produces Albarino wines in Spain, are light, fresh, fruity, citrusy wines, wines that are super easy to drink. It's usually a crowd pleaser when you open a Rías Baixas wine with friends. The best wines from the region, however, can be a lot more herbal, a lot more complex, much deeper in flavor, citrusy but persistent, and overall very, very elegant wines. So whether you're going for the entry-level wine, that's wines that are easier to drink, fruitier, or wines that are a little more complex, have a little deeper flavor, the quality overall from the wines produced using this grape are world-class. My personal opinion, Rías Baixas might be the overall best quality region in the world for white wines. It definitely is the case for Spain, and you can make an argument that the overall quality of white wines coming out of Rías Baixas are as good, if not better, than any other region that specializes in white wine in the world. Grape number 4 is Verdejo. Verdejo is the grape that is used in the biggest white wine producing region in Spain, which is Rueda. This is probably Spain's best answer to a grape like Chardonnay from France. These are grapes that produce wines when they're young and haven't been aged, are very fruity, have good acidity, are very light and easy to drink, give flavors and aromas like green apples and some tropical fruits. But the best wines produced with the grape Verdejo are wines that have been maybe fermented but aged in oak. The wines that have been aged in oak are more buttery, they're more intense, more complex, they have much more persistent flavor, and they even have a touch of smokiness also given from the oak. So if you're looking for something fresh and fruity, maybe it's better you go for an Albarino. If you want a white wine that's a little more buttery, creamy, smoky, complex, then you might go for a aged white wine from Rueda using the grape Verdejo. The 5th and last grape I'm going to recommend is Monastrell. Monastrell is also a grape that is used producing wines in other parts of the world. In France, the grape is known as Mourvèdre, but this is a natively Spanish grape from the south of Spain, around the region of Murcia, Valencia. Wine regions in Spain like Jumilla, Yecla, Alicante often use this grape for their wines. It is a great representative of the landscape, the climate, the terroir, which is extremely harsh, very hot, and very dry. However, the wines that it makes are also full of fruit, have very powerful aromas, they're very complex. And every year, the wines that are being produced using this grape in that part of Spain are of a higher and higher quality. If you're a fan of Shiraz wines, then I would really recommend checking out wines from Spain using the grape Monastrell. This is not a wine to serve to someone who is just getting into red wines, who is more of a white wine drinker, who likes lighter style wines. It might be a bit over the top for someone like that, but for someone who's really into red wines, who likes their white wines to be full-bodied, who likes their wines to be strong, complex, very powerful in aroma and in flavor, then red wines using Monastrell will be right up your alley. These are, in my opinion, the grapes that are best suited for someone who just wants to dip their toe in the water of Spanish wines, who's just starting to get into it. These are the most widely used grapes, the most commonly found grapes in wines that are being produced in Spain. I think it's a great start, a great introduction to what Spanish wines are all about. So please stay tuned for more videos where we will go into some more obscure Spanish grapes that are producing some of the highest quality wines, not only in Spain, but in the world currently.